All right, well, I'm John Dawson, service in Lawrence, South Carolina. A little brief history. NRCS started out as the Soil Conservation Service in about the 1930s, kind of in response to the Dust Bowl era, in which they began helping farmers implement good farming practices to conserve the soil, to prevent disasters like the Dust Bowl. And shortly after the Dust Bowl era, they started venturing into more watershed protection, flood protection, started branching out away from soil. And it wasn't until 1994 that they actually changed the Natural Resource Conservation Service, where they kind of incorporated all facets of natural resource, not just soil. And then today, their main focus that they even do now is just cost-sharing programs with farmers and initiative-based farming practices for them to, implement these sometimes expensive but nature-preserving farming techniques. The objectives with my internship were to help the soil scientists in Lawrence with a program they've got going on right now called the Soil Data Join Recorrelation Initiative. They abbreviate it as SD Junior. So where soil maps meet at borders, a lot of times the data does not correlate. So now they've got this initiative all over the country where states border up against other states to kind of homogenize all the data so that the soil series bleed into across state lines, county lines. As you could see here, the mapping units are all the same, but the different colors represent different characteristics of the soil types, be it slope differences or just different data. So now they're trying to go through and just recorrelate all the data to make sure everything matches up. And they've been working on this, I think, for about 5 years now. So the soil scientists pretty much sit behind a computer these days and stare at programs like this. And then my main objective was just to help my supervisor maintain all of his goals before the end of the fiscal year, because he had just lost 2 employees before me coming in for the summer.
How did he lose them?
They got tired of doing this SD Junior. Yeah, when they signed on with the NRCS, they thought they would be in the field more, and they weren't, and they ended up, one guy went into the Forest Service, and I forget where the girl that was working with him, I think she might have just left the agency altogether. So my daily tasks were going through soil survey books, which are laid out by counties, and each pet-on description like this, I would have to input all this information into this database. It's the National Soil Information Systems database called NRCS. So I would just pretty much transcribe all of this into this database program. And this program is is the backbone behind Web Soil Survey, which is an online service for mapping out soil types. And this is what Web Soil Survey looks like. You can kind of put in an address, you can set points for your areas of interest, and then it will pull up what soils have been mapped at those points. So putting in these pet-on descriptions will just correlate to where these are located pretty much anywhere in the United States right now. So that's kind of the big focus of the NRCS right now. Biggest contributions from Warnell were obviously soils and hydrology class, and then spatial analysis, because I also had to locate where these these soil pits were dug and described, and place these points on a map along with the map units. So having the intro to spatial definitely helped me navigate through ArcGIS a good bit. And that's virtually it for the NRCS internship.